Welcome to Answers from Within. From the author of The All-Knowing Diary, Mind Lies into Truths that will set you free.
Hello and welcome to Answers from Within. You're talking to Daniel and we're going to be talking to Neil. Hello.
Hi Daniel. How are you?
I'm good. Now you're about to jump on a plane, come to Australia and do some incredible training with us here. What question could you possibly have 2 hours from your flight? Talk to me.
Okay, so there are a number of things, but I think I'll settle on one. So I seem to be, I don't know how to describe it. It's just speaking generally, I seem to be living on a day-to-day basis, I seem to be living a life of being under pressure all the time. It's like I'm always being rushed or being, or trying to catch time. You know, it's like time has become my enemy, if you like. You know, it's just like, to put it in physical terms, it's like I'm always shaking all the time. Oh, I'm late. I gotta have to finish this, and I got 10,000 things to do, and that happens all day long. And it's, you know, most of the time it becomes physical. Actually, the sort of stress, you know, that comes from it is just physical. Now there are other pressures, probably other than time. You know, people trying to get something out of me or trying to get me to do something. But I think the one which causes the most, and I don't know if that is correct, the most pressure is time, or running out of it, or I'm too slow and I'm not able to finish what I need to do.
So what would be your question then, Neil?
So my question is, you know, I guess is what is causing that pressure that's causing the stress, and how do I, you know, remedy it?
Okay.
I guess that would be my question.
The answer to your first question, you asked, what is causing all this pressure?
Mm-hmm.
And the answer is simply, you are.
Okay.
So there's another question that needs to be asked is, why? Why are you insisting on living this way? And we're going to get to the root of that if you're ready for it. Are you ready for it?
I think so.
Okay. Being constantly under pressure, or more accurately put, kind of running behind time, is an alibi for you. You've given yourself time as a way to feel, well, if I fail, if I don't accomplish what everyone thinks I'm meant to accomplish and what I'm here to accomplish, I've always got the alibi of running out of time. I've always got the excuse of there's never enough time. Time is always running out. So we need to get to, why do you believe still that you need to justify your accomplishments or lack thereof to yourself? Because it's ultimately not about anyone else that you're creating this alibi for. This is so you can feel okay within yourself that if you do fall short of your targets, your aspirations, your goals, that you've got a damn good excuse for it. So, if we go a bit deeper, where this need for an alibi is coming from is several beliefs. There's several intertwined there, and one of them is, I'm not as fast as other people. Another one is I need more leeway than other people. And another one there is I honestly don't know what the hell I'm doing. And I'm just winging it. I'm hoping that I'm, you kind of like, I'm getting this image of you looking around at where everyone else is going and going, oh, I'm going to follow them. I'm going to kind of head in their direction. Not so much follow them. I'm going to head in their direction. And I hope this is going to work out for me. But just in case it doesn't, I want everyone to know that I was running out of time. So why? Why did you... Where did all this come from? And or a more important question is, well, what's possible now? Like, that's how you've been being, but what's possible now? So let's try that line of inquiry, okay? It's possible for you to take the pressure off yourself, all the pressures off from yourself, by realizing that you didn't come into this life to achieve anything. You're not here to achieve anything. And it's because you felt early on that there is homework to do, tasks to be done, accolades to achieve, recognition to be earned, admiration to be acquired, because you believed those at various times as you were growing up. It's kind of been embedded in you that there's always something to do. There's always something to achieve. But what's really interesting is to come to the realization of the only thing that I have needed to achieve this lifetime was the realization that there was nothing to achieve this lifetime. How does that feel in your body?
There's a conflict. I think my body is accepting it, like my mind says, "What? You're gonna achieve something. You're gonna be, something or somebody or whatever."
Well, I love that response, because that was just so honest. It's like, yeah, the truth is going into your body because your body is truth, but the mind is just going, what is he saying? What, are you kidding me? Not achieve something? How am I going to feel good about myself? What's he talking about? So let's see what's possible for the mind here in having this, be something of the past. Let me have a look for you. Where has needing to achieve things gotten you so far?
So it hasn't.
All that's really gotten you is a heap of stress, and more accurately, or more to the point, I should say, where it's gotten you is a continued sensation, an experience of, I still haven't achieved anything. And that is the magic of following these needs of the mind. You can never fulfill on them. The more we chase them, the more we drive ourselves towards them, we still remain feeling exactly as we did when we started. So it all started with I need to achieve and I need to fulfill and I need to do all these things. All these years later, you are still left, after all that, all the work and effort you put in, you are still now feeling more than ever, I need to achieve. In fact, I actually feel I haven't achieved anything worthwhile. So the mind has to realize, well, it hasn't gotten me anywhere, this whole notion that I need to achieve, so maybe it was erroneous, it was made in error in the first place. Because it hasn't delivered what it was promising at the beginning. What it was promising was this life of fulfillment. Well, if I pursue, I need to achieve something, I'm going to feel self-love, I'm going to feel accomplished, I'm going to feel king of the world. But that's not what's happened. And quite the opposite, in fact. You feel the opposite of those things. So you need to upgrade that file and go, hang on, this is true. This notion of needing to achieve, all that's really achieved is me feeling I'm yet to achieve. So I am the bearer of very good news for you today, which is the only thing that you needed to achieve this lifetime was the realization there was nothing to achieve this lifetime. So what's left is how do we chisel away at the resistance to fully embracing that concept? Because your identity is so based around I need to achieve. So it doesn't want to let this in, not easily. So let's kind of chisel. Let's chisel away a bit, okay? The first thing to recognize is holding on to your attachment of the need to achieve. It doesn't make you happy. It doesn't have you be fulfilled. And ironically, it doesn't actually have you achieve. It would be one thing if it had you accomplish and achieve what you wanted to, but what it actually does is have you go in the opposite direction. It has you recoil. That pressure to need to achieve is the source of this alibi to get yourself out of that pressure. So you've been trying to look after yourself in the midst of this pressure by giving yourself this fail-safe. It's too much pressure. I'm going to put time as my alibi, and that will keep me out of this, at least kind of ducking and weaving from this horrible space. So that's the first chipping away, is to realize it's not giving you what you always hoped it would. In fact, it's sending you further away from the goal of achieving anything in the first place. It's sending you in the opposite direction of achieving. The next chiseling in terms of your resistance, which I might say is quite mighty, the next chiseling is the layer of, well, if I'm not achieving, or I'm not trying or needing to achieve, then what the hell am I doing here? What do I do with myself? How do I get recognition? How do I feel accomplished? Well, you might find the truth to this quite startling and interesting. You're not meant to do anything with yourself. You're not meant to get recognition from others and admiration. You're not meant to be doing anything. Now, there's as much resistance to that idea as obviously the idea to achieving. So there's this bundle all kind of packed together of what's getting in the way of seeing the truth here. But I'm feeling confident. I'm feeling confident we can get through it. So looking at the truth behind that is, how do I assess myself? How do I know if I'm on track, if I'm not working on something, working towards something, if I'm not trying to accomplish something? How do I know I'm on track? This is how you know you're on track. Because you're not trying to work towards something. Because you're not trying to achieve. You're not trying to impress people. You're not trying to get someone's admiration. That is the definition of Neil being on track. Surprising and startling, as I promised. All your benchmarks to date have been erroneous, have been sending you off track. Your benchmarks to let you know whether you're on track are exactly what has been sending you off track. Happiness within yourself is the best benchmark to know whether Neil is on track. And constantly fighting this battle of time and avoiding failure, disappointment and embarrassment, that's Neil off track. What do you have to say to all of that, Neil?
Totally the opposite
of the way you've been living your life.
Yeah, or the people I know have been living their lives.
Are the people you know enlightened?
No.
No. So all the more reason not to follow. All the more reason to not have them as reference points. So you are at this wonderful point in time where you've witnessed firsthand, in no uncertain terms, what life is like living according to those benchmarks, living according to the need to achieve, the need to do. You've gotten to see what life is like with that as your MO. Right? So now, before you board this plane, because this is really quite this incredible metaphor, you are choosing, am I going to board this plane, take this journey to head back to the way I've always been, to experience what I've always received? Or am I taking this journey to do pretty much the opposite of everything I always thought was right? And I'm going to embrace my own happiness, my own joy, slowing everything down as my new way of being in life. Because you haven't experienced what that brings. You've written it off without ever allowing it to fully show you what it brings and what it delivers. So it's so perfect that we are speaking before you get on this flight, because now is the moment of, will I surrender to the unknown, to a path I've never taken, to open myself to a life I've never even expected Or will I go with the tried and proven, despite the tried and proven always proving that it leads to unhappiness? The choice looks pretty clear, but you've got to make it. What's it going to be?
It's the clear choice, yeah.
Now, it might take that full flight, and lucky it's a long one, to fully embrace that how you've been doing things hasn't worked out. But part of embracing that is realizing, well, now I know it hasn't worked out, and I can stop guessing, I can stop trying it. I've proven it. It would be a bit crazy to go back and do the same thing. So you can see the advantage of where you're at in life is you know what it's done, you know where it's gotten you, you know what it feels like, the pressures, the anxiety, the stress. So you can have that full flight to remember what life has been like. And then you can go, you know what? I think it's time for something new, a new approach. I'm going to leave that one up to you, my friend. Okay?
Just a question on how do I avoid this insanity thing about you know it's wrong or you know it's not the right path, but you're still doing it.
Yeah, great question.
Yeah.
You already have.
Okay.
That's what we accomplished on this call.
Okay.
You already have. So if you have a question that needs answering, come along to danielanswers.com and remember to subscribe to be invited to my free webinars. See you there.